In die nuus vanaand. 'n Polisietaakmag ondersoek 'n skietvoorval waarin 8 mense dood en 4 gewond is. Goeienaand en baie welkom by die nuus in Afrikaans. 'n Taakmag van die KwaZulu-Natalse polisie ondersoek 'n massaskietvoorval in die Zamani tussentydse behuisingsentrum in Umlazi, suid van Durban. 8 mense is gisteraand doodgeskiet deur 'n groep swaar gewapende aanvallers en 4 mense is gewond.
Daar was minstens 12 mense in die huis volgens ooggetuies, toe 5 aanvallers losgebrand het. Die 8 slagoffers, 2 vroue en 6 mans, is op die toneel dood. Hoewel die motief nog onbekend is, sê die polisie hy volg leidrade op.
We are investigating different angles of possible motive of the killing. Like you said, it's an early stage, and I'm not going to divulge. But what is also very critical is that when this incident took place, we were busy with operations in various parts of Umlazi, operations under Operation Chanela.
Volgens 'n familielid van 'n oorledene is die 2 vroue in die spervuur dood. Inwoners sê die gebrek aan straatligte in die gebied dra by tot die polisie se huiwerigheid om op te tree as sy hulp ontbied word. Die KZN premier Tammy Ntuli sê onwettige vuurwapens dra ook by tot geweldsmisdaad in die gebied.
The issue of illegal ammunitions, the guns are all over. We need to aggressively address that issue, but that cannot be done only by the police. The community themselves need to participate.
Niemand is nog in hegtenis geneem nie.
In Boksburg aan die Gautengse oosrand is 2 vermeende transitierowers in 'n skietgeveg met die polisie doodgeskiet. Die verdagtes is blykbaar by 'n huis opgespoor nadat hulle in verband met 'n transitieroof verlede naweek in Mandini in KwaZulu-Natal gesoek is. 'n Veiligheidswag is in die mislukte rooftog doodgeskiet.
Suspects who have been shot and killed, they are linked to several crime scenes in terms of the technology. We'll recall that on the 2nd of May, there was a gruesome incident of cash and transistors in Mandeni, where a security guard for G4S was shot and killed. So this incident here in Gauteng is also linked to that. We'll recall that last week in Northwest we had a cash and transistors based on the systematic following of information. The incident here is also linked to that because they try to engage the police, the team from KwaZulu-Natal of which they reacted. So we hope that as time goes on, we will be in a position to can have a stabilization relating to the cash and transistors.
Ekonome het die kredietgraderingsagentskap S&P se besluit verwelkom om Suid-Afrika se skuldgradering onveranderd te laat op onderbeleggingsgraad BB-. Hulle betwyfel egter die land se vermoë om die agentskap se ekonomiese groei vooruitsig van 1,3% te bereik.
S&P sê in sy jongste verslag Suid-Afrika se gradering word steeds beïnvloed deur trae ekonomiese groei, sowel as aansienlike begrotingstekorte en hoë staatsskuld. Volgens die agentskap is die land se bestendige en gesofistikeerde finansiële stelsels van die positiewe faktore wat in die gradering in ag geneem is. Hy het egter gewaarsku dat ekonomiese aktiwiteit geknehalter kan word deur voortgesette logistiese bottelnekke by onder meer die land se hawens en die groeiende druk op die wêreldekonomie weens verhoogde handelstariewe.
I'm not so sure the economy is going to grow sufficiently in order to maintain the current economic outlook of Standard & Poor's. And secondly, it's also crucially important to maintain and to keep the government of national unity intact. So those are the 2 variables that will be important over the next time. But so far, very good news for South Africans that Standard & Poor's has decided to keep South Africa's rating unchanged.
The trade war between China and the US has dampened the global outlook, particularly for demand. And South Africa, as an export-dependent economy, will likely be affected. On the local front, disagreements about the budget within the Government of National Unity have raised concerns that economic policy implementation, particularly that relating to macroeconomic reforms, could be delayed.
S&P sê hy verwag dat die regering se gemiddelde skuldlas sowat 80% van die land se bruto binnelandse produk sal uitmaak vir die 2025 tot 2028 boekjare. Dit is hoër as die regering se verwagting van 76% vanjaar, waarna dit tot 74% teen 2028 sal afneem.
Ramaphosa sê hy is nie bekommerd oor sy besoek volgende week aan die VSA nie. Ramaphosa sal Woensdag die Amerikaanse president Donald Trump in die Withuis ontmoet.
No, I'm not worried about anything. We're going there to discuss trade and our bilateral relations, and that's what we are going to discuss. It's country to country, and we trade with each other, so we have to relate to each other, and that's just what it is. And so just as he meets other people, and I also meet other people, it's state to state, we are representing our peoples.
Bly by ons kyk net hierna na die Bulls se weggeloorwinning oor die Dragons. In die vroue eindronde van die Italiaanse ope tennistoernooi in Rome het die Italianer Yasmini Paolini die eerste stel teen die Amerikaner Coco Gauff met 6-4 gewen. In die tweede stel is Paolini voor met 4-1. En hierdie is 'n belangrike opwarmingstoernooi op klei voor die Franse Ope wat volgende naweek begin. En dit is dan al vir vanaand. 'n Mooi aand verder vir jou. Totsiens.